If you're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys, you've got to find a way to stop Tony Dorsett. Trouble is, few, if any, teams are ever able to cope with this brilliant runner who is off to a simply tremendous start this season. And then, if you're going to beat the Dallas Cowboys, you've got to find a way to handle their fearsome front four, led by one of the extraordinary players in the game, Randy White. But if you're going to beat the New England Patriots, a team still loaded with fine personnel, then you've got the problem of dealing with one of the most punishing linebackers in football, Steve Nelson. And the Pats, they have two quarterbacks, either one of whom can be very effective on a given occasion. Grogan, for instance, will often throw to the successor to Russ Francis, the huge tight end, Don Hasselbeck, while Kavanaugh likes to use the speed of his wide receivers. And in that case, he did just that, throwing to Harold Jackson, still a great one. Tonight, the Cowboys against the Pats.
When you want the taste of a
suburb of both Boston and Providence in a frenzy. The house sold out weeks ago. The Dallas Cowboys still the biggest draw perhaps in the National Football League. And we think we've got a humdinger coming up for you tonight. Our fifth game in just 2 weeks. And I really think our openings said it all. If you're going to beat the Cowboys, you've got to stop Dorsett, and you've got to pass protect against that fearsome force. How do you do it? Well, the Pats think they have a way. They've still got great personnel. We were advised earlier that Matt Kavanaugh will start tonight at quarterback. To fill you in further on that, the incomparable Giffer.
Howard, I think you just about covered. Now, how do you stop the Dallas Cowboys, and what do you do against him? Matt Kavanaugh, quite frankly, I think he's being thrown to the wolves just a little bit. Steve Grogan and Matt, neither one have had a good game in the past 2 games. They have not won a game. Meanwhile, the Dallas Cowboys, I quite frankly think, has the best football team they've had in the history of their franchise. They're practically perfect. And they're led, of course, by Danny White, who made a smooth transition for Tom Landry a year ago into the starting quarterback shoes of Roger Staubach. They're the same well-oiled machine, except Tony Dorsett is playing perhaps the best football of his entire life. Tom Landry doesn't leave much unthought about. He never has over his career. Don Meredith can tell you a lot about that. And one of the men who's been the architect of this Dallas Cowboy team is his special assistant, Ermal Allen, in charge of development and all kinds of statistical matters. And anytime Tom wants some information, he goes to Ermal Allen. And right now, Don Meredith is with him.
Thank you a lot, Frank, and I am with Ermal Allen, who's an old pal of mine. You were my backfield coach. And Ermal, you're up here in the booth during the game. Basically, what do you guys do, and how are you trying to put this information together where you can get it down to the club?
Well, when we're on offense, we look at every defense they use, the line defense and the coverage, and we chart it. And, of course, then when they're on offense, we chart every play that they run, every pass or run on formation sheets.
Ermal, I know you see a lot of information, look at a lot of film. Your job in evaluating personnel not only for your club, but for the clubs that you play. Coming here in New England, they've got good personnel. We've heard about that for a long time. How do you think that New England will try to attack you, Dallas's defense?
Don, I really think that they're going to try to run wide, number one, and then secondly, I believe that they will attack our young secondary. They've got great personnel, and I believe that's the way they'll go about it.
You've got some of those. How do you think, then this is turning around, how are you guys going to attack their defense?
Well, actually, our philosophy doesn't change. We use a multiple formation set, a lot of movement, and we've got to attack their man-to-man coverage because they use 50% man-to-man on passing down, which is extremely high for any team, Don.
All right, Coach, they're out there. Let's get it going. Frank, you take it away, and we're going to have a good ball game.
All right, Tom, and we already know anytime you're trying to cover the wide receivers of Dallas man-to-man, Butch Johnson, Tony Hill, Drew Pearson, you're in a whole lot of deep trouble. The Patriots in deep trouble on their season already. They're 0-2, and, of course, Miami in their division off to a great start. They're 3-0. John Smith will get the proceedings underway for New England, set to kick off. And now it's Mike Rubach is out there. And James Jones, who has had a pulled groin in preseason, has just returned 1 kickoff this season, is back deep. Last year was the prime return man for the Cowboys, who have not been noted over the years as a great special unit team on kick returns. Kubash. Not a good kick. Flag is down. Jones bobbles the ball at the 12-yard line, hustles to it. And it was not a flag. It was just a yellow piece of cloth that had blown onto the field on a beautiful night for football in Foxborough. Temperature 59 degrees. Howard told you, sellout crowd, has been that way for some time. And there is no question the Cowboys are the NFL draw.
All right, quickly, we'll get a chance to see what Ermal Allen talked about with Don Meredith, the point to that interview, to set a kind of storyline for you, and it was done very effectively. Let's see how quickly Danny White goes at the one-on-one coverage.
And we'll tell you, too, about the offensive line changes for the Cowboys. If you're very familiar with this club, it is different. Ron Springs piled up, line of scrimmage. Maybe even lost a yard. It'll be second down and 11, and the offensive changes are with an injury to the regular starting center, Robert Shaw. We will have Tom Rafferty at center. Kurt Peterson, a second-year man out of Missouri that Cowboys are really high on, will be at right guard. He wears number 65. And Jim Cooper, who filled in at center a week ago, has moved back to right tackle. Jim Cooper, very fine offensive blocking tackle, back where he belongs. Tony Hill, Butch Johnson, Drew Pearson, the three wide receivers in for the Cowboys. Play is stopped with the whistle just before the snap. Something was thrown out onto the field, and now it is being removed.
One of the astonishing things I found today, spending the day as I did with the Patriots, is their confidence against this team. Now, they're going to have to prove it on the field, but they know their personnel is far better than their current record.
What they really must do is stop the running game of Dallas. It's been sensational. They have a good blocking offensive line. The Patriots have thus far in 2 games become the weakest team in the NFL against the run, and you better believe that Tom took note of it as he prepared for this game. We will see a lot of Tony Dorsett and a young man who's really coming on, Ron Springs.
There he is.
Tony Dorsett. Right side, short of the first down, out near the 25-yard line by about 2 yards. Tackled there by Mike Hawkins, number 59 for the New England Patriots. There he is. They really would like to have Larry McGrew in there, but he's out with knee surgery.
It's a good look at a big hole. You got Ron Springs is leading the way up in there. I don't know whether you noticed that stat on Dorsett a while ago, but 7.1 is an average per carry. That's almost an amazing
It is huge.
thing. Yeah.
And they're going against the 34 defense.
3rd down and 2. Billy Joe Dupree, the tight end, split to the right and out of the shotgun. Danny White, a lot of confidence, throws it out into the flat to Ron Springs. He is taken out there, and it will not be a Cowboy first down. Good defensive play. Don Blackman out there, getting help from Ray Claiborne.
You can see them, Frank. They're all hopped up. They're looking like a George Allen team just before an Allen defeat. I'll never forget the way the Redskins came out against Miami for the Super Bowl.
Wait a minute.
They jumped all over one another. And Burt Reynolds was with me, and he said, they're going to kill Miami. They never laid a glove on them.
I see.
Roland James, you had a quick look for the Patriots at his own 30. Danny White, who doubles in brass for the Cowboys, says he doesn't mind. Tom would like to have him out of there. But Danny kind of likes to punt, and he gets a high, towering, booming kick that will freeze Roland James with the fair catch at the New England Patriots 32-yard line, where out will come the offensive units of a very charged New England Patriot unit, led by Matt Cavanaugh. We've already talked to you about Matt Cavanaugh. He came in last week against the Eagles. He didn't have any better luck than Steve Grogan did in the first half. Cavanaugh had 2 interceptions. Grogan had 3. But 2 of Grogan's interceptions occurred just as he was being hit by Eagle defenders. First down and 10. The Patriots just out over their own 31-yard line. Here's Cavanaugh in his 4th year, of course, out of Pittsburgh. Jackson is split left. Stanley Morgan in the lineup. Cavanaugh, his first shot, goes out to Harold Jackson. Harold Jackson's 2nd reception of the season. That's hard to believe, but they have not hit their wide receivers.
Stanley Morgan. Look at those people. Now, Michael Downs is very young, out of Rice, a rookie, and the hopes for him are very high in the Dallas team.
And, of course, he's coming off a pulled hamstring in the very first game. He's back in the lineup, and that is questionable how long he'll be able to stay in there. Measurement from the reverse side of the field with our camera across the field, showing you how close, and it will be brought out. 2nd down, just inches to go, and we spoke with Stanley Morgan, and both Grogan and Cavanaugh have not had Stanley Morgan, their best receiver, in their first 2 games. They have not, of course, had Wes Francis, who retired before the season. Their leading runner a year ago, Vegas Ferguson, has not been available, so maybe you can defend the lack of offensive punch by this unit just from loss of personnel.
Well, Dandy, I don't think Vegas is going to get a lot of work because Tony Collins is taking over, the rookie.
That's what the coaches were telling us. They think he's terrific. He's got in there. I'm sure if Vegas were healthy, though, it's like Ermel was saying to me earlier. He said he thinks that really Dallas may have advantage in overall depth, and that's the situation. If you got Vegas Ferguson not healthy, that could hurt. You know, so what if something happens to Collins?
Single set book is Calhoun. Second inches. Jackson to motion. Calhoun, easy first down. He's driven back. Michael Downs coming up from the safety position to make the stop, but he's well over the line of scrimmage. And that, of course, is what he needed for the first.
You've seen Calhoun through all the years. Often we've identified him, Frank, as an in-betweener, not big enough for a fullback, and yet too big, really, and not swift enough for a tailback, and still he makes it work. He puts things together. Ron Earhart, beleaguered.
From the New England 43 on 1st and 10, Kavanaugh fires a good shot under heavy pressure. It goes out to Stanley Morgan, working against Steve Wilson. Stanley Morgan, Howard spoke to you a moment ago. He's been out for the last preseason game, the first 2 season games, and he is wearing a knee brace on his left knee.
I think this is a thing that the Cowboys expected, but you know, you can expect it, you still got to stop it. And I think Stanley Morgan's sheer presence does make a big deal. That time he had Wilson turning and running deep, and you turn those things off, he's wide open. Not particularly good coverage that time.
He has great speed. You have to respect it if you're a cornerback. That time Wilson was in single coverage. First down and 10. The ball near the 40-yard line of the Cowboys. Jackson, top of your screen. Tony Collins, the rookie second-round draft pick out of East Carolina, taken there by Charlie Waters from the secondary of the Cowboys. Maybe a yard pickup. It'll be second down and 9.
One thing I'd never do against Dallas with their flex defense geared for the run. Don't run on them in first or second down. Pass on them. It's the only way you got a shot against this team.
Not a bad record. Tom Landry, the 3rd winningest coach in the history of this game.
Not only that, he's got a new hat.
14 times in the playoffs out of the last 15 years. Remarkable record. Second and 9. Collins, right side.
Good coverage that time. Charlie Waters coming up. Good pursuit down the line with Too Tall, I guess it was, coming in from the inside. Pretty good defensive coverage.
Gain of maybe a yard.
Against this team on first and second down. They're geared for the run. They have every angle using the flex defense, a yard or 2 off the line of scrimmage, 2 of the 4, and you just don't do it. And that was a mistake right there, the last 2 plays.
Third down and 9. Tough situation. Cowboys, 6 defensive backs in.
Frank, they've got the 5 down linemen.
Kavanaugh out of the shotgun, going deep. It'll be picked off by Everson Walls.
There's one of your rookies.
From Grambling, and Walls returns it out close to the 25-yard line. And here's a youngster that led the nation in interceptions a year ago at Grambling. He was not drafted. The Cowboys, as they always round these good players, they know all about him.
I'm sorry, Frank. You have to wonder how Everson Walls was a free agent. Everybody knows the history of Grambling University, and this kid in the last 3 preseason games had an intercept in each game. He had an intercept in the opening game of the season, and in the second game he had a clear intercept and the receiver stole the ball from him.
So Everson Walls turns it around, and the Cowboys will have a first 25-yard line when we come back. Jay Saldi in the lineup. First down and 10 for the Cowboys. Hugh Pearson up at the top of your screen. Inside handoff. Ron Springs. Jay gaping opening. And Springs out over the 35. Or close to that as they mark it now. Inside the 35. Very close to a Cowboy first down. Ray Claiborne tripped him up.
That kid has the capacity to be a great player, Don. A track star at Ohio State. Overlooked in the draft, but not by Gil Brandt. There's Steve Grogan in a Terry Bradshaw posture. but not with Bradshaw's record.
First down and 10. Springs and Dorsett, the two setbacks, back into the I formation. Inside handoff. Springs once again, another opening behind Herbert Scott and Tom Rafferty. Gain of 3.
You know, I hear these guys that say, oh, he runs a 4.5 40, or he runs it. That's hard to relate to. You know, I don't know what does that really mean. I asked Al Lavin, who's the coach, is the running back. I said, Al, how far does Tony Dorsett outrun Springs on a 40? He says, not even a yard.
Springs has
got that same kind of speed. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's also fast.
1 second down. Danny White, play action. Finds the open man. Ron Springs did not hold on. So it'll be 3rd down and 6 for the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't know. I don't believe in that 40-yard speed test. Giffer was never the fastest man on the field, but I never saw anybody do more things, really. They're proclaimed 5 years late by Sports Illustrated as the greatest lineman in the game. Everybody knew it for 5 years. John Hanna.
I thought you were talking about Gifford. Wait a minute, I was about telling the Gifford story.
I thought I missed something.
Well, the Giffer he could do it all, and he didn't have the speed.
Oh, okay.
On 3rd and 6 out of the shotgun. Danny White, right on target. Tony Dorsett has the first down up at the 47-yard line.
You saw him blitz a safety man that time. Nothing really, I guess, causes more. We'll take another look. Coming back in the middle. You see him, safety blitz. That's Roland James coming, the 5th back that comes in. Well, they blitz the safety with no results. That's really a very depressing thing for a defense to go into. They say, hey, we've got this thing sacked. We're going to throw a safety at you. And be able to get it off to Dorsett, pick up a first down. That makes him think about that particular defensive move.
Tony, not only the leading rusher in the NFL coming into tonight after 2 games, the leading receiver for the Cowboys. S.J. Saldi, Mr. Everything, number 87. Dorsett.
Look at that move.
Bouncing off a Patriot. When you tackle Dorsett, you better really stick him and use the arms or he'll be gone. Mike Haynes finally settles things, but not until Dorsett has advanced to the 47 of New England.
Rod Schott, I think it was, that hit him back in behind the line of scrimmage, and that was a beautiful move. Just roll off to the side.
And Rod Schott is an excellent tackler with great range. I was with the kid today. It's amazing the way his body has grown bigger and stronger.
He must be eating well. He's eating well.
There was a gain of 7, 2nd down and 3. Reed Pearson out to the right. White gets the blitz, but he gets the pass off beautifully to Ron Springs.
Now, Danny paid for that one, but he did get it off. He did a little.
Well, he's dumping off to the backs beautifully, exactly the way to handle it.
You don't pick it up. As Ermel did mention, when blitz these linebackers, you see him coming right there. That automatically puts you into that man-to-man coverage. You didn't see Danny get hit after the throw, but you also see Rod Springs has got a good step on Steve Nelson out there.
We talked about the speed of Springs. He has that. That time, running away from perhaps the best linebacker on the ball club, Steve Nelson. The first down is near the 40-yard line of New England. Dallas, they show you so many formations. Springs. Another Dallas first down inside the 30.
They're just chewing up the yardage, Don.
There's a comment last year they talk about, well, Ron Springs, they say, doesn't really like to block. And Ron says, wait a minute, I'm a running back, and I don't know of any real, blocking is one of those kind of like playing center. You never do hear from him too much. But he and Tony Dorsett have gotten this thing worked out where they're blocking very well for each other. That time you saw Dorsett go in motion, then lead the block downfield. He didn't throw a devastating block, but he did at least occupy that cornerback.
Blocker is somewhat like Paul Revere's horse.
Right. Who knows Paul Revere's horse's name?
On 1st and 10. 28-yard line. White to the air again. Quickly to Springs. We'll see a clip as Billy Joe Dupree was doubling back, and what a wasted penalty this will be. There was no question that would be a clip.
Yeah, Billy Joe just got out of step, as he'd say. Something happened. One of the interesting things, is they're not picking up all of the rushing defensive players right now. Every time somebody's loose, so White hasn't had much time to look over that defensive secondary.
Jerry Markwright is the referee tonight. Here is his staff. All of the NFL officials, of course, busy in other professions.
Number 89, offense, first down.
Now against Billy Joe Dupree. The staff of Jerry Markwright.
If you clip Billy Joe, you come over and stand by Tom for a while. Don't you know that?
Down remains the same. Boy. Butch Johnson and Tony Hill is in. Drew Pearson. Cowboys, if they hold up to form, will work on pieces of it. They won't go for all of it. That's Dorsett upended. Good defensive play on the right side by Schote, who had to be thinking pass. And the Cowboys came with run. Good play.
That's the kid we were talking about. The weight, it's not 215 anymore. It's more than that. That's a program rate.
All right, you got also look a move. There's Julius Adams, number 85. He's coming in there. Schote's the one that meets that blocker. You got a lot of help from that inside, coming over the inside. Richard Bishop, number 64, the nose tackle. And that's the coordinated defense. If you're going to play the 3-down lineman, you've got to get a lot of coordination with those linebackers and those guys in pursuit.
Second down, 26. Danny White back again. He'll feel the pressure. This time it was intended. Dorsett with the screen. And Dorsett back to the original line of scrimmage, close to the 28, where it'll be 3rd and 10. Mike Haynes defensively.
What a beautiful, graceful runner. He is in the running back position what Lynn Swan is to the wide receiving position. Absolute grace, acrobatic, you know.
Does that make him practically perfect?
Yes.
This is a practically perfect team, as a matter of fact. Danny White is practically perfect at the quarterback position, and Tony Dorsett is practically perfect at the outs. Look at that little move. Got to the outside.
Dorsett out of the backfield. Ron Springs will be the single setback. The 3 wide receivers, Pearson, Dupree, Johnson, are all there. 3rd and 11. Danny White going deep into the end zone and taken there with a beautiful leaping catch by Butch Johnson. Who has been in a battle for the starting honors with Tony Hill, and Butch has been great now for 2 weeks in a row.
And that's what you call non-aggression in a defensive back. He had the play covered totally, and he stood there and he let Butch steal it from him. Watch again. Total non-aggression.
Well, he's one of the best to ever play this game at the cornerback. Mike Haynes.
Mike Haynes thought he had himself an interception. He was sitting there waiting for it. Let's look again. Look at Mike Haynes, number 40. He's back in the end zone. Butch makes an adjustment right at the end of this pattern. That really is a spectacular adjustment. Watch him come in front of Haynes, and that's an interception for a touchdown. Good move, Butch.
Well, I don't care how great Haynes is. He blew that.
Raphael Septien for the conversion. The Cowboys had a first down and 26. They worked it back to a 3rd and 10, and then Danny White threw a strike that Butch Johnson actually made the strike with a great leaping reception in the end zone. The Cowboys on top. .5:19 remaining in the first quarter. Cowboys on the scoreboard first. They lead New England 7-0. Septien will kick it off. Tony Collins, the rookie from East Carolina, settled in about his 2-yard line. Septien ordinarily doesn't kick it too deep. He'll get a little height on it. High. Collins settles in at the 10. And down goes Collins up at the 21-yard line, hustling down Kurt Peterson, who made a start tonight at right guard for the Cowboys.
And a man to be watched for the long-term future. Kurt Peterson out of the University of Missouri, where he's the defensive lineman. Now, on offense, according to the Cowboy coaches, he is probably the most developing player on the club.
New England had moved the ball well on their first drive before the interception by Everson Walls of a Matt Cavanaugh pass. Matt Cavanaugh, again, the quarterback, having replaced Steve Grogan in the starting role tonight. Here's Calhoun. Calhoun with a fine attempt out over the 25-yard line to the 26. Pickup of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Bob Brunig defensively. We might point out the Cowboys are not are playing without Mike Hegman at left linebacker. Guy Brown, a great athlete, number 59, is in there. The Cowboys think he has potential to become an all-pro. He's had little injuries that have bothered him over the past 4 years. He has a great opportunity. 2nd and 5. Kavanaugh. Intended for our Harold Jackson. Steve Wilson defensively, the ball with no zip.
Wilson came in there and made a pretty good move that time from his cornerback position. Played him pretty well. He had a step. The ball could have been thrown up a little bit more.
That's the point.
Yeah.
Frank said no zip, which is true, but he didn't have touch either.
3rd down, a little more than 4 to go. The ball just over the 26-yard line. The specialty teams that you see now with all ball clubs coming in on the pass situation.
Frank, this is kind of an interesting situation. Again, you got those 5 down linemen, and Anthony Dickerson, this extremely gifted athlete.
Kavanaugh going deep. Hasselbeck wide open.
Turned him
down at the 35-yard line. Dennis Thurman defensively for the Cowboys, but with 6 defensive backs. Thurman was all alone with Hasselbeck.
Makes you wonder how it gets open, doesn't it? Because they've really got him. They got 5 linemen coming. There's Dutton coming in there pretty good. He just turned him around out there. Somebody made a mistake. And that's Dennis Thurman, number 32, that came in. Now, this is the reverse angle from the other side of the field. Same picture. You see Thurman, number 32. We didn't see him get turned around, but he did get turned around a little bit. Hasselbeck made a pretty good move to the outside. Thurman closed pretty fast and knocked him out of bounds, but not until he made a first down, a big first down.
Hasselbeck has that great speed. He has height at 6'7", and he can get deep on you surprisingly quickly. First down, 10. Calhoun, left side, inside the 30. Nice pickup. 6 or 7 yards.
2 series in a row. They've run against the flex on first down and made it work. Each time Calhoun. I'll give him credit for that.
Well, we got word down to Earhart. He said we told him if you're going to run on first down for him to pick up more yardage, because running on first down, we've got that. Randy White missed him in the backfield that time. You may have seen a Dallas Cowboy come in there close and got a hand on him back in the backfield. That was Randy White, the guy that you always have to contend with up in the middle of that line. He didn't make him and didn't tackle him, and D.D. White did.
New England has called timeout. Confusion on the field. Matt Cavanaugh will drift over to the sidelines, visit with the coaching staff, and we'll be back in a moment. Carefully, a special time, 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, 5 o'clock Pacific. The WBC Light Heavyweight Championship. Matthew Saad Muhammad, the WBC Light Heavyweight Champion. Jerry Martin, the number 3 ranked WBC contender, the North American champion. Plus the 5th Avenue Mile. That should really be something. That'll be live except on the West Coast, featuring Steve Ovett, the world record holder in the 1,500 meters, as they run down 5th Avenue, a straight mile.
Out of sight.
Steve Ovett.
2nd down and 4 for New England. They've moved the ball well. Jackson in motion. Tony Collins, left side, another big gaping hole as Bob Brunig had to make the save.
D.D. Lewis knows that that's really his job to contain that. He came in, met a pretty good block head on. That was Don Calhoun who threw the block.
There's a young man down to the super and free. We saw him in the final preseason game against Washington. Tony Collins, I'm referring to. They got him in the 2nd round as a 2nd round pick, but he can do everything.
Good acceleration that time through the hole. He's moved very quickly there.
Again, the leading rusher for New England, unavailable, Vegas Ferguson. They say he has a sore ankle and is ready to play tonight. On first down, Kavanaugh with a lot of time. A man is wide open, Hasselbeck. Again, Steve Wilson playing way off Hasselbeck at this point. And Hasselbeck has a 1st and goal to go inside the 10.
How did he get out there so open? He started in the backfield, went in motion so many times.
New England's famous for its tight ends, the ability to go short and yet to go deep. He succeeded Russ Francis. A lot of people speculated up here in New England that part of the reason, as you look at that replay, for Francis's holdout was to enable Hasselbeck to get more money. Not true. Francis wound up retiring.
First down, goal to go. Mosi Tutupu down around the 5-yard line.
That kid's a player from your school, Frank, USC. Mosey to Tupou. All week long, because of the injury to Wilbert Montgomery, I learned today that the Eagles have been calling Bucko Kilroy, trying to get Mosey to Tupou, and the Pats won't let him go. Montgomery may be out 4 weeks.
We might also mention that Sam Cunningham has been working out with the ball club. He has not been activated. He, of course, missed all of last year. Big bruising fullback for New England. With 2nd down and goal to go. Calhoun. Touchdown.
Good move by Calhoun.
Out to the outside when nothing was doing in the middle of the line.
An interesting offensive set that time. 2 wide receivers way out left. Pulled Dallas's defense. Calhoun saw the middle was blocked up, bounced to the outside, had enough speed to do it. Here's Calhoun. The play is designed to go straight. He made his little move to the outside. Dede lost his footing, went to the outside and scored.
So 2 long drives. Dallas used up 4 minutes and 2 seconds. They went 75 yards. New England has now gone 79 yards in a little over 3.5 minutes. John Smith for the conversion. Matt Cavanaugh, the holder. And we've got a tied football game. The Cowboys 2-0 on the season. New England 0-2. And Don Calhoun has put them on the scoreboard. We'll be right back. Drive. Finally engineered by Matt Cavanaugh, and we've got a tied football game. John Smith set to kick it off. James Jones is deep for the Dallas Cowboys at the goal line. There he is. Transfer out of Mississippi State now in his 2nd year. Hubash. And the ball goes into the end zone. Timmy Newsom is there, as there was no communication between Newsom and James Jones. That ball could have been run back.
Lack of communication within the organization causes screw-ups every time. I said that.
At the 20-yard line following the touchback. Miami 3-0 in New England's division. Buffalo 2-1. Baltimore 1-2. They beat New England on the opening day of the season. New England, of course, 0-2. The Jets are 0-3. The NFC East, the division of the Cowboys. Philadelphia is 3-0. Dallas, of course, 2-0. The Giants 2-1. The 3 wide receivers: Hill, Johnson, Pearson in the lineup. Play action. White.
Oh, good move.
Tony Hill, who missed all of the preseason. Butch Johnson came in during the preseason, took the job. Butch Johnson doesn't want to give it back. And there's a little bit of feeling going on, if you listen to reports, between Tony Hill, Butch Johnson, and the man in the middle is Tom Landry.
Tom will win, I'll guarantee you. I don't know what the deal is. Frank, that was a good example, again, of what Ermel said. They put the 3 wide receivers in there, and they did get them in a man-to-man coverage, and they had Rick Sanford isolated over that left quarterback. Were able to complete it in front of him for a first down.
The first down is inside the 31-yard line of the Cowboys. Dorsett, starting deep in the backfield, looks it over, and he breaks out close to the 37-yard line. For a gain of 6, it'll be 2nd down and 4. Don with popcorn?
I can't. No, that's surely not popcorn.
Popcorn is shaking.
That's it. Don's cutest of the group. There's no question about that.
Getting back to Tony Hill, though, even though he was out during the preseason, he has a point in some respects. 120 receptions over the past 2 seasons, 2,000-yard years. He says, I belong in there. Dorsett.
Oh, yeah.
He does it so quickly.
What a leg acceleration. You see him kind of get tackled there, slow down, and just a little more spurt, drag him in, pick up a first down.
What I love about that guy is the way he runs inside, right up the middle.
Take a look
quick.
Here. This is a 3-man straight-ahead block. You got Rafferty, who's the new
That's Springs with that block on the line.
Look at Springs' block coming in, cleaning out the hole. That was a nice move. That's what they're doing real well, that combination block.
First down and 10 inside the 46-yard line. Final seconds ticking off in the first quarter. Danny White going up on top. Tony Hill, the intended receiver, and nicely played by Rick Sanford, one of 4 #1 draft picks that man the defensive secondary for New England. There is Rick in his 3rd year out of South Carolina. Has worked at cornerback also. He played there last year when Mike Haynes was late coming into camp. We're actually into the season.
Better at safety. Not really enough speed to be an efficient cornerback.
We're going to find out tonight, I got a feeling.
Tony Hill split to the right. That puts Butch Johnson 86, Drew Pearson 88, top of your screen. And we get the draw to Dorsett, who spins to the 50-yard line. That will end the first half. Gain of, or rather, first quarter. Gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6 when we come back to Schaefer Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Good football game. Stick around and enjoy. Plus here at Schaefer Stadium, Foxborough, Massachusetts, to watch an 0-2 New England team that's a better football team than that. They lost to Baltimore 29-28 in the opener. They lost to the Eagles 13-3 in a game they could have won. And Dallas, of course, 2-0. They beat Washington and St. Louis in a impressive heat last week at Texas Stadium. Dallas has the football right at midfield, 3rd down and 6, and Danny White quickly into the shotgun. Wide open, Tony Hill. Again, working against Sanford as the New England Patriots will send their men all over the field following designated receivers. Hill has the first down near the 30-yard line.
So far, White has been brilliant. He has only had 2 misses.
Start off with a very comfortable-looking pocket for Danny White to throw in. There's a couple little moves there on the sideline, on the move right in front of Sanford. He'll try to make him commit. He didn't commit. He just used his speed and natural ability to move into the inside. There's no help. Sanford couldn't catch up.
Tom Landry, he will either signal the plays in with the help of John Makovic, a new coach, or he'll send it in via a receiver. 1st down and 10 for a set in motion. This is Springs with a little screen in front. Well played defensively by New England. A gain of 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7, and we'll look at the stats from the first quarter.
Okay, first down's about even. Yards rushing, the edge to Dallas. Passing, the edge to New England. Total yards, not that much of a differential. Time of possession, Dallas. If there's one compelling factor so far, the Pats do not seem to be able defensively to contain the Cowboys. But then, the Cowboys have not been compelling in their efforts to contain the Pats.
Then let me guess, is the score
Butch Johnson, Drew Pearson, or rather, Drew Pearson split to the left, and Billy Joe Dupree is tightened up on the right side. That's Butch Johnson. An interesting play and an interesting move by Dorsett.
An interesting move is right, Frank. Pulled was that Butch Johnson that came in from the flanker on
Yes, he did.
And he made a block, and that was nice. That was fun.
They do so many things, and it really is tough to prepare for them defensively.
You know, I think
somewhere in the course of a game, you'll break down as you try to cover everything they do.
Raphael stepped in.
Yes, indeed.
2 steps to the left.
Sure shot.
A quick step. Boop. There it is.
He's successful on his next field goal. He'll set a Cowboy record of 8 straight.
Yeah, 7 for 7. That's not bad.
3rd down and 5. Tony Hill split to the left. Butch Johnson, 86. Drew Pearson. They're at the top of your screen. Ron Springs is in a wing slot there. Wide open. Springs.
He got it.
1st down at the 20-yard line.
He got it.
It's going to be close.
They're looking it over. Springs knew where it was. He got the 1st down.
1st down, Cowboys.
Good football game, mixing it up with the pass and the run.
And the Pats doing their best to put a rush on White, but not successful.
10 of 12, 96 yards. Here's Danny White. He was passing at a little over 62% coming into the game. 2nd in the NFC. Dorsett just deep into the eye. And here he comes. Tripped up. Dorsett tripped up. Ray Hamilton moving across from the nose tackle position. There will be a loss of a yard.
Sugar Bear was there that time. Made a good move.
Sugar Bear or Honey Bear?
Either one. He's a darling, whatever he is. Ray Hamilton, look at him. 6'1", 245 out of Oklahoma. Made a good move. They got Rafferty moved in at the offensive center position. We've talked about we've had injury. Robert Shaw moved in place of Fitzgerald. That gives you a little indication of what Irma was talking about, the overall depth that Dallas feels they have, both offensively and defensively. This is the 3rd center. Jim Cooper can also play center.
11th play of this drive. 2nd down and 11. Salvi in motion.
Oh, the clock ran down.
Clock ran down on them. A little slow getting the play off.
Get a shot of Tom, and you'll see somebody that's really happy.
They had that trouble in their final preseason game. They've avoided it pretty much in Washington and St. Louis, but it's a new system for Tom. He used to send the plays in a year ago, of course, with receivers.
Frank,
Number 11, offense.
Oh, Danny, you didn't mean to. As most of us know, coming to and from this stadium can be a very difficult situation. There's a lot of congestion in the traffic, and the Cowboys were a little bit late in arriving. And Ermelau says, I was worried because Tom was smiling. He says, I don't know what that means. They didn't get here till about an hour before the game.
Second down, 15. Drew Pearson, top of your screen. Saldi in motion. Danny White. Drew Pearson, and he does not hold on.
Good
Mr.
defensive
Clutch,
play.
they call him. And this time, he cannot hold on in the end zone. It'll be third down and 15.
Did you see the protection he had?
He got good protection, and the ball's not really that poorly thrown, and Drew runs a pretty good route, so you got to look to us at why isn't it complete. That's pretty doggone good coverage. You look at Ray Claiborne, number 26. He's right there, and he's getting some pretty good help in a hurry from Tim Fox, number 48.
Ray Claiborne is, well, we may put on another Leonard Hearns match. Ray Claiborne and Will McDonough of the Boston Globe. They had a set two last year, you'll remember, each claiming victory, neither able to prove it.
Third and 15, it'll be shotgun for Dallas. With the three wide receivers. Gifted ones they are. White. Out of running room, but he pulls up after finding the receiver, Drew Pearson. He struggles forward, and Drew Pearson will get the first down.
Oh, real credit goes there to Danny White. That's terrific. Staying there in pressure. Nobody was open. From the shotgun situation, you see the guards come in, set for their position.
Let me ask you a question, Don. Would Roger have run in this situation?
I think Roger would have run that situation when he first came in. But I don't think Roger would have run that situation the last few years he played. And I think Danny White had the advantage of watching Roger, as they say, grow wise with a few years.
In the meantime, White's 11 out of 14, and he's having an absolutely brilliant night.
First down, goal to go. The ball at the 7-yard line. This game tied up at 7. Movement on the right side of the Cowboys line. You'll see the flags fly. Could have been Jim Cooper, the offensive right tackle.
You got to go back in the huddle and say, okay, doesn't look like it, guys, but that's a break for us. We're down here in this below and inside the 10. It's hard to do. Give us another 5 yards. We can do a few more things out here outside the 10. Of course, that's maybe grasping for straws.
It could be that New England will not take the penalty.
Oftentimes, Frank, really, truly, it is so much more difficult down here. You've heard it explained so many times. You run out of field to work with. The defense can play a little bit more pressure kind of defense.
Illegal motion, number 89, offense.
Tight end, Billy Joe Dupree, illegally in motion. New England will let them keep first down. They want to move them back, which they do, to the 12-yard line. 10:50 remaining in the first half. Keith Lee, number 22, is in defensively in place of Ray Claiborne. Again, Dallas slow and getting the ball off. Dorsett back inside the 10. Down around the 8-yard line. It'll be second down and goal. Rick Sanford defensively there for New England. Tony Dorsett has become the third leading Cowboy rusher of all time and rapidly closing in on Calvin Hill. Coming into tonight, he needed 126 yards to replace Calvin Hill as the Cowboys' all-time receiver, and he's done it basically over a period of 4 years. Every season, 1,000 yards or plus for Dorsett. No one had ever did that before. Second and goal. White drills a ball into the arms of Saldi, and it is incomplete. Rick Sanford defensively there, as Sanford is being tested all over the field tonight.
And Saldi is some test. One of the most underrated tight ends in football. because he's not the starting tight end.
Another one of those free agents out of White Plains High School. Jay Saldi went down to South Carolina. Cowboys just keep pulling them in.
You know, though, Doug Cosby is the #2 guy, and he was the one that was really closer to taking over from Billy Joe Dupree than was Saldi. So you got 3 really good tight ends there, guys.
Third down, goal to go. Dorsett, single setback. Drew Pearson in motion. White, Dorsett, one-hands it and then bobbles it. And maybe wisely so, as Roland James would have put the hammer to Dorsett. And now Raphael Septian comes onto the field. If he can convert, and it's not much more than a chip shot, he will set a new Cowboy record of having kicked 8 consecutive field goals.
Well, we saw Buffalo miss a chip shot last Thursday night, and that turned the game for the Eagles, so you can't count on anything. But even so, a very big series of downs for the Patriots, because finally they did stop the Cowboys.
Septian also has been playing throughout the pre and the first 2 games with a pulled groin. Waters will hold. Rafferty's the center. 27-yard attempt. And Septian has set a new Cowboy mark of 8 consecutive field goals. And the Cowboys move back out in front. They lead 10-7. We have 9:54 remaining in the half for Foxborough. Back in Foxborough, set to kick off, Raphael Septian. Tony Collins has dropped deep. He's back there because Horace Ivory, who led the NFL in returns a year ago, has a pulled hamstring. He can't go. But this youngster is explosive. Second-round pick out of East Carolina, Tony Collins. One of the Cowboys' goals, as Meredith has pointed out, is to keep the kickoff return to about 23 yards.
No further than the 28. Let's see if they do it. They didn't. Yep.
And a little more than 23 yards.
Just about. The key guys are.
I want to remind you about Saturday. College football coming your way. Football regional action around the country starting at 12 o'clock Eastern. Boston College against North Carolina. Oregon State at Minnesota. Florida at Mississippi State. San Jose at California. That's the special time. 10:30 on the West Coast. And then the second half of that NCAA doubleheader after Wide World at a special time. A battle of the top 2 teams in college football. That's USC and Oklahoma, with the great Marcus Allen at USC against Buster Rhymes and Stanley Wilson of Oklahoma. Check the local listing for the game in your area. On 1st and 10, Kavanaugh fires out there to Harold Jackson. Jackson beats Steve Wilson. Very close to a first down.
Point Don was making on the utilization of the special teams in Landry's goals is embellished by the fact that Kurt Peterson and Spradlin are the 2 key people, presumably, on that team. Right, Don?
They're the guys that they like to have that wedge that comes down there and busts it open, as they say. You saw a good catch that time by Harold Jackson. Harold got 12 stitches in his chin. He showed me before the game from last week's game. I said, Harold, son, how long are you going to play this stuff? They can't run you off. He said, as soon as my stitches heal, you won't know anything. I'm as good as new. Looks pretty good right now, doesn't it?
There's your measurement as we take the shot from across the field. Jackson, of course, the man you're speaking of, Don, the leading receiver active in the NFL today with over 530 receptions.
He really is.
Always there. That's the thing about Jackson.
He caught 4 touchdowns against Dallas one time when he was with the Rams. One of the great days he's had, for over 200 yards, I think it was, but 4 touchdown passes.
It's second down and 1. New England at their own 33. They're down by 3 points. Katupu. It's a New England first down, out close to the 37-yard line.
The offensive line really fired off the ball that time. All of them got off just at the right count, and they really moved it out there.
Katupu comes out. Don Calhoun, Mr. Reliable. Not terribly exciting, but he is there, holds on to the football. Started all 16 games a year ago when Sam Cunningham set the year out. That is Don Calhoun, number 44. On 1st and 10, Jackson in motion. Play action by Kavanaugh. Hasselbeck is open again. And a beautiful shot. Hasselbeck thoroughly beat Charlie Waters. At one point, he had him by 4 or 5 yards, and Kavanaugh was right on target.
I'll tell you, when you've got a tight end who can go deep like that, you've got some weapon.
One of the things I think that confuses a team like Dallas is that offensive movement before the snap of the ball. You saw quite a bit of it then. The Cowboys were trying to adjust. Charlie Waters had 2 interceptions last week. He's lost a little speed. Here's a shot from the other side of the field. You'll see how wide open Hasselbeck is. Here's Charlie trying to catch up with him. Got that outstretched arm, just barely missed. Good offensive play that time.
43-yard pickup. New England driving again. Inside the 21-yard line of Dallas. Patupu slides away from one tackler. Big John Dutton gets down close to the 17-yard line. Guy Brown in there defensively for Dallas.
Patupu may be the most spirited player on the New England team. This guy is really intense, emotionally in every way.
Andy Johnson, number 32, can do a lot of things for New England. He comes in as a setback. He also, as we look at Ron Earhart, the coach of the Patriots, Andy Johnson will also throw the ball. Now he's split to the left. Patupu, the single setback. Kavanaugh, Harvey Martin is there.
Good move by
Kavanaugh gets the ball off to Johnson.
Goodbye.
Down, and a great move by Kavanaugh. Harvey Martin was breathing all over him.
They may have called him down back there, Frank.
They may have said he was in the grasp of Harvey Martin. They give you a quick whistle now. That started a year ago, and they're going to bring it back, and these fans are not going to like it.
Not one bit.
Can't say that I blame him.
Neither can I.
Rule was put in to make sure that the quarterbacks would have maximum protection. When you're in the grasp of the tackler, you're the same as down.
I tell you, there's a good battle going on there in the middle. I just happened to notice with Randy White and John Hanna. They've got him a good one going. Hanna's doing a good job right now.
Well, this is going to test the character of New England. That's a very tough setback to take.
3rd down and 15. Jackson split up to the top of your screen. Out to the right is Stanley Morgan. Quick count. It's a reverse. Jackson's going to throw the ball. And that ball almost picked off by Dennis Thurman. It'll be 4th down.
They ran that play on a fairly quick count, and Dallas was trying to get in all of these other players. They weren't really set for their for the defense. Here's the play before, reverse angle. Let's take a look at it again. We can look for Harvey Martin to come in. Let's see what he does. There's big Harvey. He's in the grasp. Oh, boy, that's...
Well, I must say, on the other replay, you saw the referee, Jerry Markbright. He was waving his hands. It was all over before Kavanaugh threw it.
That's true. This fellow is not kicking well, Frank.
He's
Suddenly.
free. He's been hurting. That'll never
There
make
you
it.
go.
John Smith, who led the league in scoring for the last 2 seasons, has missed once again for New England. He could have made a big difference in Philadelphia a week ago. The Cowboys have possession. Our esteemed producer, perhaps. Who knows? Frank Gifford, Howard Cosell, Don Meredith, watching a good football game. The New England Patriots changing things up. Not a bad way to play, Dallas. Showing things that you haven't shown before.
But they had the mark of a loser in that last series. First, the officials' call was proper in bringing the ball back on the apparent touchdown. Second, Smith continues not to be able to kick. Third, Dwight Wheeler couldn't handle Harvey Martin.
On 1st and 10, Dorsett. Look out.
Look out.
This could be the distance. He has great speed.
He's gone.
Tony Dorsett. 75-yard touchdown run, a brilliantly executed
Is that
play.
pretty?
Great blocking at the line of scrimmage, and then Tony Dorsett just did his thing.
Oh, my gosh.
And to look at Ron Earhart, as you look at the end zone replay again, reveals Ron to be the most intense and worried man. And I said they had the look of a loser on that last series, and this proved it. If ever a team has to show character, after
Look at the
that,
blocks downfield. Great by their flankers, their outside receivers.
Started off with a great block by Herb Scott, Frank, 68. Then you had Drew Pearson out in front.
Butch Johnson.
Yeah, Tony just stayed in there behind as Drew Pearson, 88. That was a beautifully executed play.
Seption in an attempt to extend the Dallas lead. which he does. So suddenly the Cowboys are out in front 17-7. This man is very special in this game, Tony Dorsett. Less than a half, and Tony Dorsett, who led the NFL after 2 games, now leads the NFL in rushing after 3 games.
8.1 average per carry. That 75 yards helped that one, didn't it?
Utterly huge.
3rd longest run in Cowboy history. He has the longest at 84.
Did I have the 2nd longest? Do you have that book? Evidently not.
And he has one of 77. And he now has one of 75. Tony Collins takes the kickoff of Septian. And Collins piled up out around the 25-yard line by Everson Walls.
Basically, they're meeting Landry's goals, the Dallas special team, on these kickoff returns.
Yeah, they want to keep them no further than the 28-yard line. And believe me, that's all figured out. I don't know how they do all that sort of stuff.
I love that new hat.
Yeah, he's got a new hat. Well, he's very fashion conscious. Alicia, of course, helps him.
Dallas leading 17-7. Matt Cavanaugh, who has performed well tonight. Back again. This time going out to his wide receiver, Stanley Morgan, the intended receiver. Back there defensively, a man whom the Dallas Cowboy coaching staff will tell you makes things happen, Dennis Thurman.
Now Stanley, who's been out with an injury, can run the fly. He can run straight. He'll have a problem tonight. He's not fully recovered, trying to hook and curl, but right there he should have had that.
I've seen him even call interferences on plays like that. You saw Dennis try to reach his hand back in. The ball was a little bit underthrown, but Ed Jones was the big reason for that. He was all over Cavanaugh as he threw it.
2 tight ends for New England on 2nd down and 10. The rookie Lynn Dawson from North Carolina State is in there with Hasselbeck. We get the run call. Tony Collins fumbles the ball, and Dallas looks as though they have recovered.
They can blow this game out of the top.
Steve Wilson recovers for Dallas, and they'll have super field position, 30-yard line, inside the 30-yard line of New England.
They can blow this game out right now. 6:35 to go in the 2nd quarter. 2 terrible mistakes by the New England Patriots. One with Mike Haynes standing there passively in the end zone as Butch Johnson stole the ball on what should have been an easy knockdown or intercept. And secondly, they were dispirited after they failed to score, and Dorsett took advantage.
Drew Pearson, 88. As we look at a single setback, Pearson now in motion. Tony Dorsett. Flag is down as Dorsett is through the 25-yard line. Richard Bishop upending Dorsett after a gain of 3, but we are going to have a holding call. It works against Dallas. 5 games, 16 days. We hope you've enjoyed them. That's what we've been bringing you here on ABC. And a week from tonight, Chicago, and the Los Angeles Rams. As the soap opera story continues to develop.
Holding number 64, offense, 1st down.
Is Tom Rafferty at center, and I speak of our travels. Well, our technicians and engineers have done a superb job moving all over the country. They're a little bit bleary-eyed, but they are the best. And we're happy and proud to be with them. 1st down and 20. Cowboys at New England's 38. Dorsett. This time, Dorsett trying to go outside is taken there by Mike Hawkins.
That's a good move by Hawkins. Springs was the guy that was supposed to be blocking me out there, and Hawkins just made a real good move, and Springs didn't even get a piece of it. Came right back around and got Tony for a loss.
For the Pats to get back in this game, they've got to do 2 things. They've got to, that's Makovich, formerly of Wake Forest, who's feeding in signals there. I believe that is, isn't it, Frank?
John Makovich. He is a first-year man from Wake Forest. And he gets the unenviable job of signaling Tom's plays in. 2nd and 23, and a flag is down.
And offsides over here.
Danny White, deep in the end zone and out of the end zone. Hustling down there was Butch Johnson, but there was movement at the line.
brings Drew Pearson on this side. You're spread out that far, it's kind of difficult to hear that snap count, and I think he just moved a little early.
Well, I'll decline this. What they've got to do, the Pats, is show some character. They've got to pull together, stop
Illegal
Dallas.
motion, number 88, offense, declined, third down.
So it brings up third down and 23. Tough call. New England will be giving them some of it, but they also have to be thinking in terms of the field goal. And right out into the shotgun comes Dallas. Tony Hill up at the top of your screen. Middle screen. Ron Springs. Springs pursued and dropped at the 32-yard line, far short of the first down. Again, Ray Hamilton, who has missed a lot of action over the past 3 or 4 weeks with a sore right ankle, playing good football tonight.
Well, that was somebody's man. Ron Springs, that's the middle screen. Maybe it was Hamilton's man. They're either going to be a linebacker or one of those defensive linemen who've got to stay in that middle and watch for that screen. If Hamilton hadn't made a tackle, they could have possibly picked up even the first down.
Danny White will be looking for the corner, and he's good at it. Roland James will try to guess with him. White angling the ball and catches the end zone. It'll be a touchback. So there will be a net gain of 12 yards as the ball will come back out to the 20. New England brings their offensive unit back onto the field, hoping to regroup. They lead 17-7, 4:50 remaining in the half. New England was 10-6 last year. Buffalo took the AFC East with an 11-5. The Cowboys were 12-4. They lost in a tiebreaker to Philadelphia, and they lost the NFC Championship to Philadelphia. 1st and 10, New England from their own 20-yard line. Tony Collins, right side. And Collins sprints out over the 25-yard line before Charlie Waters is there defensively. Boy, there's baseball fever up here in Boston, isn't there?
Oh, is there? They're going crazy at Fenway. 9-2, Boston killing Milwaukee. Detroit over Baltimore. Cleveland shutting out the suddenly slumping Yankees. Oakland, Toronto postponed. Minnesota red hot in the second half, leading Kansas City. And Texas over Seattle. Chicago, California, later start.
That was good.
2nd down and 4. Katupu. Big hole. Most really cracked Michael Downs and had a couple of extra yards out of it, but he already had the first down. They'll mark it up close to
Michael
the
Downs,
39-yard
being new
line.
back there to begin with, he says, wait a minute, I'm not supposed to meet anybody coming back here this quick. Look at that straight-up blocking on Randy White. That's Hannah. Randy White, as we've talked about many times, can't be too many people much better. Downs says, wait a minute, I'm just a rookie from Rice. What are you doing coming back and hitting me that hard?
Downs is some rookie. He's going to be a star.
He is.
They have marked it at the 38-yard line. 1st down and 10. Collins. And Collins pursued and dropped by middle linebacker Bob Brunig. After a gain of 4, it'll be 2nd down and 6.
National League Cards away from the Mets, shut out the Cubs. Look at that Philly-Montreal game. I'll tell you about Steve Carlton later. He set a record tonight. Mets leading 2-1 in the 7th. And San Diego, Cincinnati later start.
2nd down and 6. Matt Cavanaugh got the start tonight. There was a lot of question. Ron Earhart told us this morning that he would start. Steve Grogan, physically all right. And neither one very productive in their first 2 losing efforts of the season. Quick shot. Stanley Morgan, he has great speed. They're playing with a knee brace that has kept him out of action, but you saw just a quick flash of a man over the past couple of years has just been sensational. A Pro Bowler the last 2 years.
Reminiscent of an old teammate of mine, Bobby Hayes. Used to throw that ball out to Bobby and say, Bobby, look, we can't think of anything else to do, so I'm just going to throw it out there and do whatever you can. But watch this little move. Little quick fake into the line of scrimmage. Okay, Stanley Morgan, Bobby Hayes. Look at that move. Now, Thurman is a pretty good open field tackler. That's one of the things, boy, he can get them in the open field.
New England has the 1st down at the 45-yard line of Dallas. Cavanaugh up again. Man is open. And taking the ball once again, Stanley Morgan.
Kavanaugh is handling this team beautifully. As we approach the 2-minute warning, he's doing the right thing. He must be patient. If you only get back a field goal, you're back in the game.
New England has 2 timeouts remaining. We'll be right back. Of those 156 yards, 8 for 11 is Matt Cavanaugh. 93 of them have been on the part of Don Hasselbeck, the big tight end who has roamed around free all night. He has 3 receptions for 96. 2 timeouts remaining. New England down 17-7. There's Cavanaugh, troubled as has Grogan been with knee problems over the past few years. As a matter of fact, he came in a surprisingly low draft pick because of a knee problem. Missed his rookie season with knee surgery. Hasselbeck in motion. He's the big number 80. Cavanaugh going for Jackson, and Jackson back there dueling with Wilson, and a flag is down. They'll bring it up. Defensive pass interference. Wilson, Harold Jackson is a cagey receiver. He slowed down and let Wilson run up his back.
Well, he wound up having him pretty well by himself, and you're right, he is a cagey receiver. Made a pretty good move. Wilson looks up now to see the ball, making his move toward the ball. He's coming over the shoulders, and that's restricting the offensive receiver's ability to catch the ball.
But he kept his body between the ball and Wilson. Wilson had to play through him.
That's right.
It's first down, goal to go. This capacity crowd getting their share of excitement tonight. Calhoun stacked up on the big left side of the Cowboys. John Dutton, Ed Jones, Guy Brown, Bob Brunig, all closing down.
And look at the bottom of it. It's Charlie Waters from his defensive safety. Charlie makes a lot of tackles behind the line of scrimmage.
Tell you this, New England has been resolute in this drive. That man's worried about his job. He's the most intense figure on the field. And they have been resolute. But now they got to prove they can get that ball in there. At this point in time, while a field goal keeps them alive in the game, it's not what they want. They want more.
Second down and goal. The ball's at the 3. Collins.
How about 7?
And resolutely they move into the end zone. What a football game. It is a beauty.
Oh.
Tom Landry, I think, suspected they might be blown away when they came back and led 17-7. New England is not quitting.
Again, a good move. We talk about that offensive line, but they stacked them up, went to the right. Wilson, you see, has a shot at him. It doesn't hold on. They had Ed Jones pretty well trapped in on his side. That's Dutton there for the side of it, so they did a good job on the offensive right side of the line. That's
Shelby Jordan, number 74, did a well of a job.
So did Shelby, so did Bob Kreider.
John Smith. And Smith brings the Patriots to within 3. West Carolina, who is a leading rusher for the Patriots in the preseason. 1:03 on the clock remaining in the first half. The Cowboys have their full complement of 3 timeouts. And the